Hello. Thank you so much. So I have prepared some words to say, and they're on my paper, so I'll read them. But what I didn't realize is, I'm just so thankful to be here. This is so awesome, to be even on this stage with these people. So I'm so excited to be here. My name is Jesenia Avile, and I am an assistant professor at Kentucky College of Art and Design, or as we call it, KyCAD. And my job really today, wait, hold on. I didn't know it. There we go. I didn't know it was already up for me. My job today really is to introduce two of KyCAD artists and also to highlight two projects that we see fitting within the larger theme of the session. But before I do that, before I introduce our artists, I would just really like to thank everyone for being here, and I would like to thank the Kentucky Foundation for Women because they've sponsored this presentation, and I would also like to thank Sarah and Mandy and the entire festival team because they've worked with us to bring us here today, and we're just really, I'm really excited to be here. So thank you all, and now I'll get on with the business of introducing our artist. So MacKenzie Taylor is a KyCAD alum, and I'll just sort of highlight, even though she'll come up next. She's a KyCAD alum. She graduated last spring with her BFA. Utilizing a variety of media in her work explores identity, history, and home as a Black woman. The piece I would like to highlight today, which is available for viewing in the lobby, and you all should definitely go see it, it's really quite amazing, is titled Confection. This work consists of a loop video showing a close-up of MacKenzie, who is seen sucking away sugar coating that covers portraits of her grandfather. While Mackenzie works to resolutely break through the translucent sugar veneer, her mother's voice reverberates across the video and in your ears, catching from time to time a moment or a fragment of a man MacKenzie never knew. Next, I would like to introduce Jesenia Avile Ugalde. Jesenia is a senior at KyCAD, and she's a diligent and reflective artist. She is also an extremely fierce graphic designer. And the piece that I would like to highlight today is a body of work that Jesenia is currently working on. To create these meticulously arranged compositions, Jesenia has drawn upon personal photographs, family traditions, and also her research into Mexican medicinal plants and healing practices, and her love of her own community here in Louisville. The smallness of these paintings at first belies the fullness of their subject matter and their impact. Even in these early stages, as you can see up in our PowerPoint, in these early stages, the work seemed to beam with the liveliness of coming together around food and drink and blossom with the bountiful potential of community and herbs. So with our very, very short time, what I would like to do now is actually invite each of the artists to come up and reflect on this question. So taste seems to be to offer a way to connect to both of your heritages. What role do you see taste and heritage playing in the work just highlighted? So we'll have MacKenzie come up first, and then Jesenia.
Thank you. So heritage is a great part of my work. Honestly, my identity begins within my home. I live in a generational home, so I was able to access my grandmother and my mom telling me constant stories of who my grandfather was, and I wasn't able to meet him. So how do I identify with someone who I was never able to meet? I began listening to them, just hearing oral stories constantly over a photo album. And a lot of times I just sat there and was able to consume just a little bit of who he was. But the more and more I consumed him, I felt like I didn't know who he was at all. Each photo I had of him was sugar-coated. So I felt like everything was sweet and intimate that my mom had told me, but I never fully got the good and the bad, the wild, the crazy. Everything was just sweet every time I heard it. But I feel like my genealogy I was able to consume just through storytelling and through photo albums. And that's it.
Yay, thank you.
Buenas tardes. So for me, taste is a perception of experience, but flavor is the personality behind the experience. And that's where my heritage comes in. In Mexican culture, flavor is kind of like our signature of caretakers. Our common ingredients have medicinal properties, they have lineage, they have history. Mexican flavors travel across countries, it touches different dishes. But when you're a Mexican immigrant in Louisville, Kentucky, almost 2,000 miles away from my motherland, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, we yearn for that heritage. But we find it, like in other flavors, we taste for remembrance, and we share for community healing and community care. So the pieces that I'm working on highlight those flavors that I found while building community. They also highlight medicinal herbs that are very common in my family and the environments that were highlighted in the paintings are located here in Louisville, Kentucky. So 2,000 miles away from our motherland. And for me, that's where my heritage flavor and my own healing comes in. So thank you all so much for listening and inviting us to share our art and what it means, because as we hear, there's a lot of need and yearn for community and healing, and I hope that my pieces at least uplift that a little bit through a smile or a memory that we can all share. But yeah.
Thank you all so much. We really appreciate it.